Hello and welcome back to another unboxing video. I am your host Joel. I am one half of the Newlydeads. If you're unfamiliar with who the Newlydeads are, please go to our website at thenewlydeads.com for more information about who we are, what we do, and where to find us. That is Bailey. He has decided to join us for the remainder of this video. So you'll see him doing his thing, probably falling asleep because this doesn't really interest him that much. So on this video, we have just a smorgasbord of things, just random pickups that I've had for the past I don't even know how long. It's been a while, but these are all things that I picked up just kind of here and there and don't really fit into a specific category like, Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or TerraVision or Ronin Flicks or any of the boutique labels. These are kind of things that some of them may be boutique, but they are just things that I had one of and I thought, let's just bunch them all together, which I've done before. So the first one I don't actually have any notes written down for. Kind of because it is I'll just read the back of it to kind of give you a definition of what it is. Now, if you're familiar with this channel, you know that I love shot on video films, and you will know that I am a huge fan of Chris Seaver and Low Budget Pictures, aka Warlock Home Entertainment. Actually, well, we'll save that for when it actually drops. But I've got everything that's out so far on Blu-ray, and this was the latest thing that came out. It is called Skits, Skagax, and Skadoinks. So this is the cover for it. Now, the back, I got to be careful because it's a little risque. But this says, "Greetings, fellow fart heads, and welcome to the newest batch of weird from the history books of Low Budget Pictures and Warlock Home Video. Within this Blu-ray disc, you'll find many a heaping helping of random tomfoolery that Chris Seaver and this wacky brand of turd merchants cooked up over the years, including some never-before-seen raw behind-the-scenes footage from the movies that were never finished. Music, videos, commercials, convention footage, and even a full-on cast and crew script read-through of the 2008 crafter piece Ski Wolf. So indulge your most sensual and succulent senses as you melt your eyes while watching this collection of pure stupid absurdity and become one with your own genitalia." That is Chris Seaver in a nutshell. So there is the cover. I am drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden. He's a regular of the crew, the cast and crew. There is the back. I'm going to cover the questionable area. I have not had a chance to watch this. Inside you get the full catalog of, well, not full, but you get the catalog of kind of what's available. Then you get a lovely picture of Chris making a Chris Seaver face. So this is a niche kind of thing that I personally enjoy. And, I know there's other people are out there that do as well. But if you're interested, just look them up online. You can find them on Facebook as well as plenty of other places and a lot of conventions, especially if you are in the New York, New Jersey area-ish, the East Coast. All right, so first up, well, second up, I should say, we have The Sword and the Claw, aka Killik Aslan from 1975. Now, I've been eyeballing this for a while. I finally saw it at a super inexpensive price, and I'm like, I'm grabbing that. So the plot is, when the king is murdered, his baby son and heir is hidden in the forest where he is abducted and raised by a pride of lions. As an adult, he uses his beastly strength and claw-like hands to take revenge against the new king and his armies. This was directed by Natuk Beitan, who did Fake Bully and something called Fearless Coward, which is kind of an oxymoron, I guess. Maybe not. This stars Kunyait Arkin, who was in The Man Who Saved the World. A little bit of trivia here, like Rudolph Valentino in The Son of the Sheik from 1926, Lion Man also plays his own father, King Solomon. So this is an oddity that I have heard many, many things about. I've watched the trailer several times, and it's just, like I said, been on my list of things that I just had to include. It's an AGFA release, and all their stuff is just so much fun and weird and unique. On the back, or on the inside, you've got a card there. Then you've got the disc itself is pretty plain, nothing to speak of. And then on the inside, you've got a shot from the film, which is similar to the cover, just not the artwork. So if you like your 70s movies with a little bit of stank and a little bit of weirdness, Sword and the Claw right there is for you. Next up, speaking of oddities, Bleeding Skull their books are phenomenal. If you can get your hands on either of their two books, don't hesitate, pick them up. But they also release stuff, and everything I've picked up from Bleeding Skull has been a tier in and of itself. So first up, I should say. So what we have here is Ninja Zombie from 1992. Archaeologist Orlin seeks martial artist Jack's help against a cult threatening him after a dig. Jack dies, revived as a ninja zombie by a voodoo witch. They fight the cult leader who kidnaps Jack's fiancée for a magical artifact. This is directed by Mark Bessinger, who did Bite Marks. This stars John Beaton Hill, who is in The Wolves of Savin Hill. Interesting. So a little bit of trivia here, and this is where it gets interesting. The film was shot on Super 8 in 1992. Couldn't find a distributor, so it was shelved as producer Don Rasmussen and director Mark Bessinger went on to other projects. But in 2015, they were approached by Bleeding Skull Video, thank you, about the movie and a distribution deal was struck, allowing the film to be released to the public for the first time in over 25 years. So that's what makes this unique. And that's what I love about boutique Blu-rays, is this kind of stuff. So go watch a trailer and then go pick it up. Because a lot of the Bleeding Skull stuff tends to not last very long. This one just looks amazing. So the disc itself is kind of like the AGFA. It's pretty plain. But then on the inside, you've got this phenomenal alternate cover, which I may flip it because I really like that. But, you know, you should pair this up with J.R. Bookwalter's Zombie Cop. You got a good night right there. Just take my word for it. All right. Next up, we're getting to the more mainstream sort of things here. Again, another thing, if you are familiar with the channel, is you know that I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. It is my fandom. I've been watching it since 1984. It was something that I got from my father, who passed away a couple years ago. And I've gotten my youngest kind of into it, not as much. Both my kids know about it and have watched it, but it's not their thing per se, but they do enjoy it when they see it. But anyway, we've got Doctor Who Season 2 from 2025. Now, when we say Season 2, we're saying Season 2 after it went to Disney, and then now it's off Disney, and it is currently in limbo. There is the Circuit Breaker series, which is going on with... It's a huge crossover event, giving people something to kind of hang on to, but it is pretty complicated, so you've got to kind of go through a lot of different steps to get the whole story. But anyway, neither here nor there. So the Time Lord known as the Doctor travels through space and time with his companions, having incredible adventures and facing dangerous enemies. Thank you, Internet Movie Database. There are various directors for this, because there are various episodes. This stars Ncuti Gatwa, who was in A Midsummer Night's Dream, as well as The Roses. This also stars Millie Gibson, who was in 172 episodes of Coronation Street, which if you saw my episode, which I talked about the first season, I mentioned that, which is just nuts. So a little bit of trivia here. In November 2023, showrunner Russell T. Davis announced that Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor would be referred to as Season 1, while hinting at a larger secret regarding the future of the franchise under his guidance and the involvement of Disney. Following the 60th anniversary special, the show has been going in a different direction, with the theme of superstitions, myths, stories, and faith being central themes. This can be explained with the Toymaker's legions entering the universe and thus creating the new science that the Doctor keeps running into. He loathes using the word magic. Now, what this means after the last Regeneration episode, in the long term, don't know, but it's kind of like 1989 where things kind of went into the wilderness until 96, and then again in 2005. We shall see. But in the meantime, we have this as the last official release, unless they put the current Circuit Breaker thing out as a full set of some sort, which will be difficult, but we shall see. They chose, what's interesting here is instead of doing the slipcase that they've been doing with these, they chose to go with the larger case version, which is what they've been doing with the original series releases, which on my mic you're not going to be able to hear, but up there I've got all the original sets that I'm slowly collecting, all of what's been put out from the original Doctor Who, and they're all in these types of cases. But anyway, I'm not a huge fan of these, but I understand why they do it. It's an easy way to get multiple discs, and you know, some of these seasons have been kind of short, so it's a little easier if they're just doing like the Christmas special or whatever. It's easier to do just a single disc or a smaller set, but because this was a larger season, they went that route. Neither here nor there. I think it's kind of interesting, but that's just me. All right, finally, the three things that, oh wait, nope. We got four things left. The next three things are all from a sale that was going on, and these are three of my more favorite movies that have been released in the past year and a half or so. Really enjoyed these, and these are all on 4K, and they were too inexpensive to pass up. So first up, we have Sinners from 2025. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. This is directed by Ryan Coogler, who did the Black Panther franchise for Marvel, parts 1, 2, and 3. He also did the original Creed film, which stars Michael B. Jordan, who is also in this, who was also in Black Panther 1 through 3, as well as Creed 1, 2, 3, and who is a heck of an actor, as is Ryan Coogler, is a heck of a director. A little bit of trivia here. Director Ryan Coogler said that 2 of his biggest influences for the film were from Dusk Till Dawn from 1996 and The Faculty from 1988, both directed by Robert Rodriguez, sharing credit with Quentin Tarantino. If you've not seen this, Michael B. Jordan does an amazing turn playing 2 characters and plays them differently enough that you feel like you're seeing 2 different people. Inside, you've got just the disc, and then you've got a code, but we'll keep that because I'm maybe going to be keeping that for myself. If you've not seen this, it is absolutely recommended. Next up, we have Weapons from 2025, one of the most anticipated films of last year. When all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. This is directed by Zach Krieger, who did Barbarian and is about to unleash his version of Resident Evil on the world, which the trailer is interesting. Like, a lot of people are like, it doesn't seem like it's part of the games at all, which from what I understand, it's its own kind of offshoot, but it looks good to me. I'm curious. This stars Julia Garner, who is one of my favorites of the current slew of actors that are coming up. She's been around for a while, but she was in 44 episodes of Ozark. She was one of the main characters, and she was in the Apartment 7A, which is the prequel sequel. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to give anything away, but it's directly tied to Rosemary's Baby. And she is amazing in that movie. So according to Time Out, on the busiest days of filming, the production would be home to more than 170 children. Child labor coordinations were enlisted to help the kids engage while not filming. So there is the cover. And Apartment 7A, unfortunately, hasn't had a release yet, but I'm hoping at some point that it will. Again, this is a 4K release. You have the code there, and then the disc itself, nothing fancy. These are studio releases, so, you know, they are what they are. All right, and finally for this little trio, and then we got one more thing. We've got Nosferatu from 2024, which had one of the most iconic endings. Just that last shot just still sticks with me. A gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake. This is directed by Robert Eggers, who did The Lighthouse, The Witch, and currently just released a trailer for Werewolf, which will be coming soon. The stars Bill Skarsgård, who you may know from the It franchise, as well as Barbarian that we just mentioned for Zach Krieger. A little bit of trivia here. According to Bill Skarsgård, his voice was the aspect of the part he worked hardest on. He spent 6 weeks before shooting not doing much else than just recording himself. And on set, he would keep doing exercises. It sounds kind of like a Mongolian throat singer. He also trained with an Icelandic opera coach to lower his voice an octave to make the voice of Count Orlok as deep as possible. So he does really, dig himself into that character. A lot of people had issues with the character design. I really enjoyed this movie. Mrs. Newlydead and I went and saw it in the theater, and I do not regret it. We actually saw the 1921 version. Was it 21 or 22? We saw it at a screening prior to going to see the film, and it was a nice segue to seeing the film itself. So if you've not seen this, I would recommend seeing it in theater if you have the option. This one actually has the Blu-ray and the 4K and the download code. But if you do not have the option, then I would recommend seeing it in some format where you can watch it in the dark on a large screen TV with a lot of sound system, because that's the way it was meant to be seen. Finally, I don't really have anything to trivia or information about this. I just picked this up because my mother's birthday is coming up, and when I was a kid, this was something she used to talk about all the time. And so it's kind of been ingrained in my brain as something that is just kind of a comfort food, so to speak. So this is going to be a hard left after all of that. But we've got Ma and Pa Kettle. We have the complete comedy collection. This is all 10 films that they did, supposedly. I did find out after the fact that they were kind of guest stars in at least one other film that I could find. But this is a throwback to a different time. And there is one bonus feature And then it really is just the 10 films. So Mom and Pa Kettle were a comedy duo that now Pa Kettle is not in all of these. The actor, I forgot his name all of a sudden, eventually stopped making the films because he felt he'd kind of run his course with the character. But again, something on a Saturday afternoon, you know, I remember watching these on just, you know, a little TV at home and just, you know, I love old black and white films, whether they're, you know, horror movies or thrillers, noirs, whatever, and comedies as well. I Love Lucy was kind of my whole childhood. But inside you've got individual discs. The first one is The Egg and I, which is Fred McMurray, I believe, is in that one. But then, am I remembering that correctly? Doesn't matter. Anyway, but they're kind of side characters, and then they were so popular they went off and spun their own franchise, which turned into 9 other films and, like I said, guest spots. But if you're not familiar with Mom and Pa Kettle, watch a trailer or a clip from one of the movies. They're readily available on YouTube and other places. And if you're into, you know, kind of, what is this, like 40s, I want to say, era, if memory serves, when things were still in black and white and you might enjoy it. Like I said, comfort food. All right, that is it. Thank you so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I try to mention this in every video. Sometimes I forget. But please, we're trying to help grow the channel. So like, share, subscribe, and comment. It is always, always appreciated. And we are very grateful for any help that we can get. So thank you very much for that. But just thank you for watching. So until next time, remember that tomorrow is not guaranteed. So don't forget to unbox your heart. We'll see you soon.